That's what you want, right? Live to 101 years old, then die from heart attack in... how is that dome called where people go here? Orgy dome. 101 years old, live great life, die there from heart attack. You can change your life in that direction. Imagine that tomorrow you're going to die. I mean, it will happen to all of us sooner or later. Or let's just play a game. Imagine that's going to happen tomorrow, before burn. How much would you say pay? Well, maybe pay is a bad word for this crowd, but how much, what value would you assign to living another year?
Everything.
Everything. I picked up a year kinda randomly. I could say another day, but day is not that meaningful for most of us. In a year, you can, move to another country, divorce, marry, have a baby, maybe not build a house with the current economy, but it's still a bigger chunk of time. So assign a value to that year, right? And just keep it in your head. If you ask Google, hey Google, what is maximum human lifespan? It will tell you 150 years. And it's based on the time you have. There are non-replaceable neurons which don't multiply, and they're expected to live about 150 years. And that's kind of what Google AI thinks is that your maximum lifespan. If everything goes well, that's where you will end, 150 years. There are bets that there are humans who will live that long, already been born. Maybe it's you. You can change your life in that direction. That's why you're keeping that value in your head, because sometimes we get lost in the mundane and distract ourselves. So, if you look at the Guinness records, the longest lived human is 122 years old. Maybe it's fake, maybe it's not, but we have multiple people around 120 years old. And they're not just that old, they enjoy what's called the compressed morbidity. So they live great life, and then pretty much overnight they die. Or maybe over months. Which is kind of nice. That's what you want, right? Live to 120 years old, then die from heart attack in... how is the dome called where people get here? Orgy dome, right? 120 years old, live great life, die there from heart attack. Okay. But what happened to most people in the United States? And it's, of course, it's average. I mean, statistics lie, but just average. Average health span. Last time I checked, again, this Google, and yeah, you can probably depends who is counting, but it's about 55, 60 years old. After that, most people get sick with multiple diseases, on pills, and slowly declining for another 10 years and out of here. So, what you're leaving on the table, if you just flow and do whatever you do, you're going to live a whole, well, if taken to extreme, another 60 years of your life wasted. 60 years of good life and 60 years gone. Now remember that value of 1 year? You can multiply it in your head now by 50 or 60 or even by 10. I mean, even if you think that you're doing good, above average, okay, multiply it by 10. Now, what is the solution to this? If you want better than average results, you want to have a better than average effort. I think it was Tony Robbins who said that, maybe somebody before him. Whenever the mind goes, the energy flows. So, if you want to make some money, for example, you have to study finance. You follow the people who do that, you invest, and you get somewhere. And if you decide that value of those extra years is something you want, you have to direct your mind towards it. You have to think about it. Do not just leave it and go about your life. Because we humans, we totally love to ignore death. We just say, it will come, probably, one day, not to me. It's like learned helplessness. It just comes with our human territory. But the thing is, for the first time in human history, we have an opportunity to significantly extend it. Because we already have sort of evolutionary factors taken care of. We now control the birth. We now can control our own genotype with CRISPR editing. And I believe this year AI learned how to predict protein folding, so we can actually edit genes with precision. So somewhere in the next 50 years, most likely the human life will be significantly extended. But even forget about that. Even without all that, if you just apply practical things to your life, you can have another life. I don't know how valuable is it to anyone. It's kind of valuable to me. You know, cats have 7 lives? 7? 9? Okay, 9. Humans have 1. Smart monkeys have 2. What I want you to do is to keep that value somewhere on the back burner and maybe meditate on it or trip or whatever, whatever works for you. Just think about it and apply it to your life. And there are multiple ways you can do it better. Check this video next, and I'm going to talk about 10 things you need to pay attention in your life to have that second life. Living is smart, aging is bad, and I'll see you there.